Well, it's another night and I'm back with the YXZ1000, and today I've had a parcel. Will the camera focus? The front grab bar, the trail version with the winch mount, and that is listed for 16 and a 17 YXZ1000R. And it's going down there. So I want to see what this looks like. I'm going to chuck you in the tripod and let's rip it open and see what we got. Well, let's find a knife and get this thing open and see what we've got. My kingdom for a knife. Oh, can't find a knife. Have we got a knife on the bench? I can't believe this. Let's just do it the old-fashioned way. Hey. All I want is a knife. Let's just rip it open. Pretend it's Christmas Day and just rip a present open. Right, what have we got? We should have 7 items in there. Parts list. some quite good instructions. Take them in the house after and have a read, but for now that is actually quite heavy. There's a little box in the bottom here which they've actually taped in. Right. Whoa. Let me do that. That is surprisingly heavy. Let's have a look at this. Well, there she is. Trail bumper. Winch is mounted in here. Fair lead there. That is heavy. That is really heavy. Mamma mia. What to do with that box? Whoa, Yamaha, how strong is the glue you use? Everything is so thick. It's all nicely powder coated. I'll go through the parts list to make sure we've got everything. I've seen the grab bar, I've seen the plate, and we should have 4 M10 flange bolts, 4 M10 bolts, and then we should have 2 M8 by 70 hexes. That's them. Part number 5 is the spacers, which is these. Number 6, sway bar brackets, which is them. And number 7, M8 by 20 flange bolts, and there should be 4 of them. So I've got all the components. Let's have a quick read. It says preparation. Place the vehicle on a secure and level surface. Set the parking brake. Clean the mounting surfaces before starting the installation. Remove the covers over the front bay and the front fenders. Retain all hardware for reuse. Remove the 2 bolts on the left and the 2 bolts on the right that hold the stock grab bar to the vehicle. These bolts are not reused. Remove the stock front grab bar, it will not be reused. Remove the 8 bolts that hold the stock skid plate to the vehicle. Retain the bolts for reuse. Remove the 4 bolts and the 2 clamps that hold the anti-sway bar to the vehicle. Remove the anti-sway bar from the vehicle. The bolts and the clamps will not be reused. Use a 3/4 hole saw bit in a drill and cut 2 holes in the stock skid plate, which are indicated by the arrows in figure 3. Use the dimples on the skid plate to centre the drill. Install the backing plate to the vehicle by sliding it through the space behind the frame and in front of the front differential. See figure 4. Position collar spacers behind the frame cross member and in front of the circular bosses on the backing plate. Working from behind the backing plate, insert 2 hex bolts, number 4s. Number 4s are the M8 by 70s, the big Allen bolts. Pass them through the collar spacers and through the frame cross member. The hex bolts thread into the circular bosses on the front grab bar. These screws also secure the collar spacers. Well, I've seen the bosses on the space bar. We're going on about them into there. It's all going to make sense. It's that way up. It's going to end up something like that. Okay, secure the backing plate to the anti-sway bar brackets with the 2 M8 by 20 hex bolts. don't talk at this time. Install the front grab bar using the stock mounting locations. The front grab bar mounts are sandwiched between the backing plate and the stock mounting locations on the frame. When adjusting the position of the front grab bar, ensure that the circular bosses pass through the holes cut in the skid plate. Secure the front grab bar by installing 4 M10 flanged bolts, which is going to be these, and torque the bolts to 27 foot-pound. Thread the 2 hex bolts installed loosely into the circular bosses on the front grab bar. Work from behind the backing plate. Torque the bolts to 21 foot-pound, which is going to be these long ones that go through there and into the back of this. Reinstall the front anti-sway bar with 2 anti-sway bar brackets and the 4 M8x20s, which are these little buggers. Connect power and ground cables to the winch. Reinstall the fenders. Instructions for connecting the cables are included in the winch wiring kit. Reinstall covers, fenders, refer to the owner's manual. To be honest, I'm going to try and do it without taking the front off. Going to try. It's not a job for this evening, it's a job for tomorrow. And now I just want to make sure all the threaded holes are going to line up in case I have to clean them. I either need longer nails or a knife. I think a knife might be handy. Look at there, look at there. Well, if I can screw them in by hand, that means the threads are clean. Yep. All the holes line up. that is going to be properly strong. I'm going to go and wet the winch. Let's see what it looks like. This front grab rail with the winch plate is designed for a worn winch. Well, I'm not using a worn winch. I'm going to use Old Faithful. I'm using a Rhino 3000 lbs winch. I have to mount it slightly different. With the worn, you use these 4 holes to mount to the winch. I haven't got the 4 holes in this winch, so what I've got is a plate, and that is going to get mounted on there like that. I'm going to have to mount that first and then drill this hole and this hole, because them are the 2 holes that line up with that hole and that hole on the winch, and then it's bolted from underneath onto the winch to hold the winch onto that plate. It's just an adapter plate that I've had to make up. So I'm mounting it slightly different to how Yamaha want me, but I'm going to end up with the same result. Say the worn winch mounts straight to this. I've got to mount my winch on an adapter plate, which is going to mount to there, and then the winch goes on to the adapter plate. So that's how I'm mounting the winch to the plate. Hope that makes sense. And then my fair lead, which I've got here, which has been modified. I had to take all this out for another application. You can fit it all through there. As you can see, it's going to mount there. So I can use everything that I've got from the old winch setup that I had on the Polaris. Rhino winch, adapter plate, and the new Yamaha front bumper system with the winch plate mounted, which will all end up on the front of the YXZ. I think it's going to look proper cool. I'm going to set the camera up tomorrow. I'm not doing it tonight, it's too late to be pulling things apart tonight. And I'll put the camera on time lapse. And we will fit it tomorrow. But I'm going to try and do it without taking the bodywork off. I think I've got enough access and I think I can get in. Because I need to get the anti-roll bar removed, take the brackets off, and it should swing far enough out of the way to put that backing plate on, and then the anti-roll bars locate through these holes. We've got all new hardware, new bolts for everything. It's all come in the kit. So once it's mounted and the winch is on, it'll be a rewire job and wire the winch up. And whilst I'm at it tomorrow, I also want to modify the trickle charger leads, and I'm also going to mount a second Odyssey PC925. So that's tomorrow morning's project. It'll probably run into tomorrow afternoon as well, but that is and will be on tomorrow. And then I can take my time wiring the winch up, routing all the wiring properly. Anyhow, that's just a little update on the winch mount. I know I said I was going to make one, but when I found a winch plate that I could have used, it was in America. By the time I'd paid for it, paid all the import duties, it was just as easy to order it off Yamaha in the UK, which I did on Wednesday night. Today's the 6th of December, which is a Friday, and it's turned up this morning, so a really, really good turnaround by Yamaha. Well, I couldn't help but do a little bit of prep tonight. So we've mounted the winch plate. I've just got to drill these two holes tomorrow. And I put the fair lead on. So that's mounted, just wants tightening up. And them are the 4 bolts that are going to hold that orange plate on. So, but there'll be 2 more holes in here once I've drilled them 2, and then I can mount the winch to the winch bracket. And once that's mounted, I can set about pulling the YXZ apart to mount it all. I think that's going to look proper cool. Let's just throw the winch in. Get the winch where it's going to go. Yep, the winch is going to sit like that. And my leads are over here. 3 spools there. Get my hand in there to grab that. Yep, we'll be fine. Yep, we can get in there to pull the 3 spool. That is going to look properly smart. Yep, going to look proper good, that. I feel a lot happier going trail riding with a winch on. Yep. I can go into some more difficult places with it now. Yep. Watch out, YXZ. We are going green laning with our new winch.